couple of weeks ago, I was one of a bunch of people asked to write about reducing stress for a series of articles on LinkedIn. I was supposed to get that done by a certain deadline for a coordinated effort. I missed the deadline. But I thought I'd do something anyway, because that's one of my principles of stress relief. Do something without a deadline. So how do I reduce stress? I have a few activities I do, such as running and painting. The activities themselves are specific to me. I'd like to write something that's a little bit more general, modeled on those two. You're watching me do one right now as I talk about this. I think there's 4 points that express what I do to reduce stress, that you can see right here. One is focus on one thing. When painting or running, I'm focused on one thing. My mind might wander while I do either, but that does not take extra effort from me. Those are thoughts and ideas that bubble up on their own. On a distance run, most of my mind is in the experience of running, both the pain and the exertion and the pleasure of the world around me. When painting or drawing, I'm not focused on anything but the page in front of me. All too often, my work and my life pull me in several directions at once. Doing only one thing is a sanctuary from the stress of getting 10 things done simultaneously. Unlike some runners, I do not run to music. That, for me, is doing two things. If I listen to anything, it's the world around me. Birds, animals, and other people. I've realized the joy of running for me is not the physical exertion, but the trails I run, the discovery of cool things around the next bend. While I love completing races, I run not to win, but to discover. There are places one can run only in a race, and that is often the joy of the race for me. I hate the training, and often after doing a big race, I'll drop training and running for months. When running becomes work, I just don't do it. When it's discovery, I am obsessed. It's not just the trails that are discovery, but how to run. It's also an adventure to get ready for a race. The same is true of these sketches. I never do two the same, and I have no desire to. I'm about the discovery of making images, and different ones every time. You'll notice all these tools I have at my disposal. I'll use each individually and in combination. There's so many ways to combine, I'm always doing something new for me. When I'm done, I'm always feeling better. Now, I'm not a professional artist, nor anything like a competitive runner. That's about performance. Performance stresses me out. Just doing for the love of doing de-stresses me. I cannot run every day, though once the weather is better, I'll do a short mile or two at lunch. But whenever I sit down somewhere, if I need a break, I'll pull out my iPad and start drawing. I just do for the process, not the product. At work, we force ourselves to be so centered on getting product out, we often do not enjoy the process of getting there. To stop and do the process in something changes the scenario for me. I ran my last marathon in 7 hours, 28 minutes, and 12 seconds. Professionals could run 2 or 3 in the time I take to finish one. I'd love to be faster, which would give me opportunities for discovery I wouldn't get otherwise. But the time it takes to do a marathon is about the experience for me. I enjoyed that marathon. I may have been overexhausted, but it was fun until the end, when I was close to being swept off the course. Sadly, stress popped its ugly head up for me again. Yet, up to the last 15 minutes, when that was an issue, the whole experience does not feel like 7.5 hours. It became timeless, not being able to tell the difference in time between mile 6 or 13 or 20. Painting is even more so. I zone out completely of time. I have no idea what time it is when I'm drawing or painting, or how much time passes. Time becomes irrelevant. If time becomes an issue, I become stressed again. Not everyone likes to run. Not everyone thinks they can do something like this drawing. You can find activities that make you focus, so you lose track of time and the end product. You can find activities that are about the process of discovering more than any external judgment. That's where I find my stress relief, in those situations where I can focus and be out of time.